So J. Jayalalitha has been acquitted by the Karnataka High Court in the disproportionate assets case. Are we surprised? Well, not quite. If you see the history of prevention of corruption cases in this country, there is a general sense that at the end of the day, the powerful do manage to get acquitted quite simply because there is a huge question mark over the nature of the prosecution. Remember Mayawati and Mulayam Singh Yadav and their disproportionate cases when the UPA government was in power? The CBI on more than one occasion called for a closure of the cases, saying there was insufficient evidence. The fact though was that the CBI at the time was accused of being the Congress Bureau of Investigation, and the UPA government at the time needed Mayawati and Mulayam's support on important legislation and indeed to stay in power. Jayalalitha, well, the case might be slightly different. Narendra Modi doesn't need Jayalalitha's support to ensure the longevity of his government, but he does need her support for important legislation like the goods and services tax. The fact is that the prosecution in the Jayalalitha case, as any good lawyer who's examined the case will tell you, leaves much to be desired. It was only the efforts in the end of Subramaniam Swamy that got this case this far. For 18 years, this case was never really prosecuted in the manner that it should have been, because there were far too many loopholes that were not looked at with the intensity that they should have. The fact also is that between 91 and 96, Jayalalitha's income suddenly went up manifold, while she was declaring tax returns of barely 27 rupees that she claimed that she was getting as the chief minister of the state. Her explanation, of course, is that this is income that she has earned over the years, including in the past when she was an actor. But clearly there was sufficient reason to believe, particularly in the manner that friends of Jayalalitha like Shashikala Natarajan had suddenly seen an increase in their wealth and income, as to whether the chief minister had acquired this wealth during her specific tenure in power. We do not wish to question the judgment of a high court, but I think when a trial court gives a judgment of conviction 7 months ago and 8 months later Jayalalitha is completely off the hook, questions will be raised. And I think some of those questions cast a doubt over the entire nature of this Prevention of Corruption Act. Remember, Lalu Yadav got prosecuted only at a time when his political power had weakened in the national capital. Ditto with Om Prakash Chautala, who is finally in jail. But as I said, the likes of Mayawati and Mulayam, because of the political clout they enjoyed at the center, were able to convince, it seemed, the investigating authorities that all this land which they had acquired, all these riches which they had acquired, was not disproportionate to their known sources of income. But that's the nature then of how our prosecuting agencies operate when it involves VIPs. Which is why the worrying fact is that there will be a lack of faith tomorrow in the ability of our prosecuting agencies to really take on the powerful in the land. Today it is Jayalalitha, tomorrow it will be someone else. Which is why this country desperately needs to insulate investigating agencies, whether it's at the state level or whether it's at the center, from those in power. Only when that happens will public faith be restored in these investigating agencies. If they are not independent, questions will continue to be raised. Meanwhile, all I can say is that Mother's Day has come to Tamil Nadu, if only a day late. Amma is back. Thanks for listening to me and listening to my thoughts. Do share your feedback at rajdeepsardesai.net. Let's carry forward this dialogue.